We are EcoFaith Recovery, and we are recovering.
I'm recovering from loss of relationship.
I am recovering from aspects of my way of life that are detrimental to our future.
An unwillingness to be involved.
What I'm recovering from is this sense of isolation, this sense of disempowerment, the sense that the problem is too big, that there's nothing I can do about it, that my faith isn't powerful enough, that my God isn't strong enough. I'm recovering to a vision of myself as connected to other leaders who can make a difference. Alice Walker said that the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. And yet our faith tells us that we do have power. Jesus gave power to the disciples and commissioned them to use it to extend God's healing to the whole world. These were disempowered people, and yet they changed everything. People come to EcoFaith Recovery initiatives to learn how to engage in these practices for awakening leadership. Then they take these practices back to their faith communities. They engage them with existing committees or new teams or practice groups in order to reclaim their God-given call to make a difference for the recovery of human life and the healing of God's creation.
I guess I have a confession to make. I really don't believe the soil will save us because the soil's out there. And unless we get involved with it in a different way than we have in the past, it's not going to walk up to us and say, I'm here to save you. I mean, everybody's saying the trees will save us, all of that. Really, we have to save ourselves. We already have a lot of knowledge. And by working together and combining that knowledge and committing to learning more all the time, we just exponentially multiply what we can do. The reason I am so excited is that this is a bottoms-up effort. It's not a top-down. Top-down efforts get locked up because they become political and they're too expensive. All of the things that our government is talking about, and not just ours, but other governments as well, cost a lot of money. But this, I think if we looked at the return on investment, has the potential to be very manageable, fairly cheap, and actionable. The neat thing is, because the academicians are not leading this, real people are leading this, you can understand it. We have this routine, we have these teams that go around, and Bev and I take pictures, and Carol measures, and I measure, and Eric measures, and then after all of this information is gathered, we dig a hole and look at the dirt. Once you start looking, your vocabulary enlarges immediately. I learned about this thing called the rhizosphere, which is what happens when the roots of a plant disperse carbon into the soil. And this whole symbiotic relationship between millions of microscopic organisms, the soil is a living thing. But we haven't treated it like a living thing. We've treated it as something to use and discard. We've always thought about carbon as carbon dioxide and that it's bad. But in fact, carbon is the basis of all life. It's the cycle that has gotten out of balance. And what we're trying to do is establish some balance in that cycle once more so that the natural systems, photosynthesis, decomposition, all of that, are allowed to work without our interference. It's our planet, our problem, but we're all in this together. And I'm really convinced that we can do something.